Okay. Welcome to the Other Guys podcasts. I am Kevin. I will be governing these proceedings and conducting the host services. And tonight
And we're off to a great start, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your co-dingle, Kirk, yes. And also we're joined with the Murray Moves.
Murray Moves.
Say Mayor?
I almost called you Mary Moves. I don't know why I said Mary, but I was thinking about someone named Mary. Never mind.
This is the legislation of the Other Guys podcast. This is the council, or whatever you call those things.
We're the Council of Excellence.
Yes.
Or dudes.
The dudes, yeah. This is the Other Guys podcast. We talk about things that there is no format here. If you're a first time listener, welcome, enjoy, and good luck.
First thing you gotta know is keep up.
Yes,
you're gonna need it. Yeah. Why not grab a Red Bull, or
yeah, and our
or McDonald's coffee.
We're not sponsored by any
or a Nestle water.
Not sponsored. We would like to get sponsors down the line, but not right now.
So if you're someone with a company and you don't mind losing face,
you guys are always talking about getting sponsors.
I mean, it's mostly me. I found out today I'm pretty greedy, apparently.
Dude, these mics are pretty expensive, and I also got to cover my coverage. I've been buying Kirk Red Bulls, so I need to take care of my coverage.
Well, isn't that the priciest energy drink?
That is. It is. It's a premium.
You could downgrade them to like
Red Rain.
It's had an actual.
There's a Red Rain, isn't it? Red Rain.
There used to be a Canadian one, a Canuck one, something Canuck, or I don't know.
Was that actual bear piss?
That might have been. Got the job done. Anyways,
Moose Mace.
I said it off the record though. I'm scared to drink those because people die.
But what's the point of living if you can't feel alive?
To keep living.
Tomato. There we go. So Kirk's good for another. Kirk's good for another hour or so.
Let's go.
There we go. He's gonna start talking like Randy Savage. Can you do the show as Randy?
Not even. He sounded like Ooter. No, let's go.
Let's go.
Right?
Yeah.
Swedish chocolatier.
I'm actually part Swedish.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they say like
I'm 1% Norway.
They say you are what you eat, and I eat like a bag of Swedish fish every day. So
is that Jesus Christ.
That's how I assume.
So that means
that's the good oil, right?
I mostly eat chocolate.
Jeez. So does that mean I'm part Kentuckian because I eat Kentucky Fried Chicken a day?
No, I think that means you're half dead.
Oh, okay. So, since we're on the topic of chicken, let me go into the top 5 chicken places, chicken franchises in Toronto, just so you don't make mistakes and go to these random chicken spots. Not particular order. There's KFC, Dirty Bird. You go to Mary Brown's. That's another hidden gem. You go to Chicken Joy, which is like KFC, but like a little bit better. And then you go to Popeyes. And then the last one...
Chicken in the Rough, Sarnia, Ontario.
There you go.
I like how he said top 5, and then he's like... he has no 5. Like there's not a 5th in there.
No,
he's like, I'm gonna give you 5.
Well, I was gonna,
but I don't know 5.
No, his brain is now in line at KFC. He's like, 3-piece burger.
It pretty much died.
You know what bugs me, man? And I'm sure when you guys go to a place like that or anywhere, have I said this before? When you're in line and it's like me, you.
People.
Person in the way,
yes.
Person at the counter,
yes.
And you're standing there for a couple minutes and you're looking at the board and you're looking and I know what I want.
Right.
I'm there. I'm like, all right, I had the only time I'm thrown off is when you walk in, there's no line and you're like right up there and it's like, can I help you? Yeah, just
right.
Hang on a second here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, I don't know do I feel like
right.
But if I got I'm in the line, the fuck else are you doing in the line that
That's
you
true.
can't pick what the fuck you're gonna eat when they ask you to come up? Why wait? You know how many times somebody in front of me then steps up and they're like,
like it's my turn.
Okay, so I had that the last time I was here, and it's like, you didn't fucking see that 5 minutes ago when you were standing here for fucking.
Yep.
Like, I just want you to step to the side. Can they not just bash you across the side of the head with a tray?
Yeah.
You know, turn this into an experience that you're going to remember because you're an idiot.
You know what it is, though? Because
fuck.
I don't think this...
And, people are on lunch breaks and shit, right? Yeah. People with jobs. Have some courteous, fucking behavior.
Yeah.
And there's big pictures, right?
That's right.
That's why for dumb people. That's why they made the big picture.
I want that one.
they're like, but I want to.
This is what it looks like.
I'm not sure if I remember what a Big Mac looks like.
I want the burger with the 2 patties. It's like this, and it's got the shit on. It's got the bread in the middle.
Yeah, what do you call that again?
That one. I want that one. I've seen people. Have you seen these people?
Yeah.
Have you seen them? Maybe there's like a language thing where like they're not from, like they can't read the English. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is, and where they're like, that one.
Yeah.
I want that one.
Yeah.
But I see it, and I'm like, damn. But it sounds like he's speaking pretty good English.
Yeah. I mean, there are people with brain.
If you're that one, like if you're pointing at a menu,
maybe
and you're
that's
going that one. I'm sorry, you have a problem.
Right. Maybe that's where like fast food places could get in on like the fine print because they didn't read the little like they couldn't read something. It's like just the idiot tax basically. Like it's like every time someone just points at something and just says number 1 instead of like saying the word out loud.
Well, no, I'll say number 1. Number 1 is like simplifying the order, right?
But I mean, like I'm just saying, like if someone's just like a pointer and barely communicates, it'd be like funny if they had like an idiot tax though, like on like so if you weren't actually reading the thing. That's all.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't really agree with it, but it'd be kind of funny.
World.
Like, it'd be funny just to have an idiot tax. That's all.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking about idiots, there is something that I definitely want to speak about today that I've been dealing with on the daily. Here's the thing. I drive as a living, and I also drive for fun. I drive motorcycles.
For a living.
I work... My job requires me that I drive.
You drive for a living, not... I get... Does that, Kirk? Jesus Christ.
So, Kevin... people don't know Kevin.
Can I get a ruling on this?
He's a race car driver, right?
I'm a race car driver. Fine.
Let's get it out there. Like, what's proper? For a living or as a living?
No, for a living. I drive for a living? Or no? As a living...
This is not an English class today.
When you say as a living I drive, it sounds like you are the car.
Maybe I am.
Right?
As a living. I drive as a living.
I drive as a living. It sounds like you are
for a living.
Like you're a transformer. Like you are.
Maybe I am.
I don't know.
Maybe I am.
I think I drive for a living. That sounds more correct to me, but I don't know. As a living, how I pay the bills is by using transportation for.
Okay, before this gets into a deep ethological, I'm not even going to say the word properly, but dude, at the end of the day,
ethological. Oh my god, was that the word you just
I think
used?
He made that word up.
I did. I can do whatever I want.
Which sounds like ethological sounds like logical plus ethics.
Yes, it is. It's a new word. It's 2019.
But then we were talking about grammar.
It's 2019.
So grammatically speaking,
if I can make a new gender, I can make new words. Anyways,
what was the one? Kofifi?
Kofifi. Why not?
Wasn't that Trump's tweet?
Hamburger.
Hamburger. Yeah. Listen, anything is on the table. But
Kevin was in line at the KFC and he's like, "Ooh, a hamburger. That sounds good."
Jesus. Look, long story short is I spend a lot of my time on the roads, whether it's on a bike, whether it's in a work vehicle, or whether it's
sleeping.
or whether it's sleeping. Listen, I'm a road fucking warrior.
This guy's been in a lot of trunks too.
I've had my license since I was about 20.
He's a trunk jumper.
Jesus fucking Christ. Listen, I see a lot of things on the road, okay? That's all I'm trying to get to.
Some people don't realize that in the stunt that Harrison Ford did in Indiana Jones was actually Kevin with the whip. He went under the truck,
Under the truck, yeah.
That was Kevin. People don't know that, but that was
1980
Kevin.
something, back when it was like 2. But anyways,
just take it.
All right, you were saying.
What I'm saying is, I see a lot. I see more than the average person. I see what the roads are like, and obviously, I'm not talking about globally. I've been told apparently Italians.
Like if they're icy.
They're icy, but I see a lot of dumb shit happen on the roads. I've seen close calls. I've seen collisions. I've seen some pretty nasty stuff. I've seen a lot. And what I'm saying is there's so much bad driving out to there that today I would like to take the opportunity as a PSA, because some of our listeners may be drivers, or not even that. They might even be cyclists who have to deal with drivers, and I got a thing with them too. Kirk, you're a cyclist, aren't you?
Used to be. My bike was stolen.
Right. When you did.
Sorry. Sounded so sad. But I would say that like I was like one of the bad cyclists probably. Right. Like I wouldn't stop at stop signs and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Like and I'd have people like I don't know, not like honk at me. I got honked a few times because I was just I kind of like had a weird mentality. As soon as I got going, the fear just left me. Like I've been going down like I'd be like,
life can leave you too real fast. Like.
No, I was just like, and like I was so like, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be hard to go down like Bloor or like a busy street, like, and I or like when I first
just leaving a disaster in his wake. Like,
when I first like my first time I went down the one, what was it, one road that was like DuPont,
the gardener,
DuPont, just like got on the off ramp, like on ramp was like, here we go. Here. But no, I went down like one street where I was like, oh, this is nice. There's a.
Was it an uphill or was it straight?
No, I was on DuPont. It kind of goes up and down a little bit, but there is a point when like the bike lane just runs out and you're just part of it. And that point, I was like, I'm in it, man. Like I was fucking giving people dirty looks and shit. Like I was like getting in there, and I was like, at any point, I'm like, I could get fucked up. But like you see like a pretty girl ahead of you, and you're like, she's doing it. She's doing it fine. Like I always keep up with her
on her Bixie bike.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm going for it. Yeah. And so I think like there's a certain like I think as a bike, I think sometimes I feel like there's almost I can speak from what I was like. You almost have more expectation of the drivers than you think they should have of you. Mm-hmm. It's an unfair situation. That's what I think the overall feeling of cyclists are. Yeah. Because most like I never wore a helmet for the most part. Like I think I had a helmet.
Well, helmets aren't cool.
Well, I wore my helmet once in a while, and I found out like no, I don't like to wear it.
With a head that big too, it's pretty.
No, I do have a helmet that fits though. It makes my head look even bigger. So it's like the biggest fucking helmet you can get probably.
Your helmet made out of bubble wrap.
So my thing with the cyclist.
Would that work?
Maybe. If you wrap it around a couple times.
Chin strap, yeah, chin strap.
So my thing with the cyclist that I only have to say about them is, great. Listen, if you want to cycle out in the middle of December and January and wear multi layers and not be visible, that's your prerogative. That's your prerogative. But my thing is when cyclists listen. At the end of the day, yes, there is a law that says share the road, but at the same time, if the situation arises where maybe a car has to make a move and you're there, dude, protect your own life and fucking either back off. Don't like I've seen so many cyclists challenge cars or not slow down or not move out of the way. And let me tell you, 99% of the time between a bike and a car, a bike is going to lose. That's all I'm going to say. So, Kirk, I know you were very... you had the adrenaline going and all that stuff. I'm just telling you, man, dude. Like, if one person opened their door and,
they did. There was a few times, and then you get really mad. Like people would be parked in like they would just like Ubers would park in the bike lanes and stuff.
Ubers and taxi drivers.
No. Nobody should be in the bike lanes.
Well, they were.
Bike lanes are for the cyclists.
It just happens. Yes. Like it's like if you're on a street where it's like Bloor or something or a busy street. Like
it will happen.
Like Ubers and cabs pull and those things vehicles. All the time. Like because they think they're getting in and out.
But okay, so like just so what you were saying and a bit of what you were saying is that, and like I'm cool, like whatever. Like I know the laws, like for the cyclists, I know the laws for the drivers, like or mostly for the cyclists. But like even as a driver, there's certain things where if it's too dangerous as a driver, you may not do it. You know what I mean? Like legally, I could do it. Like, I don't know, when it's pouring rain out in the dark and, you could hydroplane. I could drive, a certain speed on a certain road. Mm-hmm. It's unsafe, though. it's not safe for me to do that. So I figure out a way to drive properly in the snow. You know, like you can't see the lanes. Oh, there's no 3 lanes.
No.
People drive behind the vehicle and you go in the path.
Right.
Whatever is the safest way for you to get from point A to point B. Cyclists, like, fuck, it could be a major intersection with a left turn and like the craziest shit going on. And, you know, you see 100 cyclists and legally they're allowed to be in the left turn lane and get out there and, you know, be like a car. And you see everybody, you know, cross, you know, over here or go across at the side of the road, basically where pedestrians are, but they'll ride their bike and then they'll go the other way. But then you get the odd idiot that's like, I know I'm a fucking car and I'm going to be in the middle of the intersection, and they get out there and they fucking do their little hand signal. You're freaking drivers out because you're not a car.
Yeah.
People, I might know what you're doing. Other people have no clue what you're doing.
Right.
You got to be more aware. So, you know, like, there's a lot of shit drivers, like Kevin said.
I would say left turn, something I avoided. If it's like if it's a red light, I'm using the sidewalk.
Yeah, people
but
do.
Cause it's very intimidating and like a big intersection to do that. I know that.
Big. I've seen big.
But if it's like a green light and I can see ahead and I have a chance to do it, then I'll go for the left turn. But I was always way too afraid to do it otherwise, because it's like you just don't know how other people are going to perceive you.
There's some very good cyclists that know shit that will be like, no, I'm going over and I'm done, and then they get over.
Yeah.
And I see cyclists, like, they don't give a fuck. Like, they're like, I can do this because I'm a cyclist, and I'm entitled to it. And here they come, and it's like, whoa, what are you doing, man?
Do you know the worst day for me though?
I've had arguments with people I know that are cyclists,
when you
and like, I'm like, you know, you can't.
Yeah, that was one of the worst days. No, there was one day I feel like it was like people were the most inconsiderate from a bike lane perspective.
Christmas.
It was in High Park in the spring. The cherry blossoms were blossoming, as they were, and it's just like there was hundreds.
Is it the spring or the fall?
No, it's the spring, right? The cherry blossoms.
Feels like it's the fall.
Whenever they were blossoming, I feel
September. Like, I think it's like later in the year.
They come out, but they don't fully blossom.
Feels like it just happened.
Because I remember being on my bike and there were like cars everywhere in Hyde Park. They wanted to see them, right? This is like last year though, so I don't know. Like,
you know what? No, you could be right.
So I feel
you could be right.
I think it was spring.
You could be right.
So I'm pretty So I remember being there, and then all of a sudden, like, because there was just people just showing up, and they didn't know where they were going, and they'd be like, there'd be cars just kind of like parked everywhere, and they were in the bike lane. So I'd be like, kind of like shitting myself, because I was like, there's way more cars here than normal, and half these assholes don't know where they're going, so they're either slowing down or stopping in the bike lane. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit. And so it's like, for me, I go through there kind of fast because the whole park is on a downhill the whole way through almost. So I really started picking up speed. So I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna like die because people keep like turning or stopping in front of me, because it's almost like they're treating like the park like it's not a real road when it really kind of is there.
So that's another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about what they call road communication. When you're on the road, you need to be able to communicate to other drivers. How do you do that? Things called signal lights. And dude, how many times? And you know what? I'll be honest. This happens to a lot of BMWs.
Turn signals.
Yes. Indicator lights, left and right.
Signal lights.
Or four-ways, they might say, if you'd use all of them.
But so here's the thing. I've seen it time and time again where fuckers will be speeding, and then in the last minute, because maybe you're keeping up or whatever, last minute, they'll just dash right over to the left or to the right, and just I believe they call that cutting people off. And I've seen like the bad shit that goes down with that. Cyclists have gone down with that. Use your fucking signals.
Have you ever freaked out?
Behind a wheel?
No, I mean, like, so somebody does crazy shit like that, or like doesn't signal and like comes out of nowhere and almost causes an accident with you, where you're doing everything normal, fine, and you're like, the fuck?
Right.
I freaked out. Like, I've had many incidents with people like on the road where I'm up next to them and I can finger out the window and they're doing it back, and I'm like, fuck you. And then on the other flip side, I'm like, you know what? I'm totally cool with it. And then normally I get up to a light or up next to them somewhere, and I'll be like,
right.
And they roll their window down. I'll be like, hey, man.
Yeah.
You know, you got a broken light. You got a light out. And they'll be like, "Oh, really? I didn't know that." I'll be like, "Well, it's the only reason I can explain your non-fucking turn signal, asshole." So I lead them in with a nice,
I
like
thought you were gonna get out and
You guide
do a
them
walking
into your
call.
hatred.
I'm just gonna
Be like,
smash his
you-
window.
it's like,
No,
you got a broken light.
no. Well, so but no, I lead them into that, and they'd be like, "What?" Be like, "Yeah, you didn't signal."
Yeah.
And
That's
I
a
see
good-
people, man, a bit like boom, 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 but no signals at all, and I'm
Right.
like.
That'd be a good way to get someone out of their car.
When I was younger,
then
I used to
beat them.
do shit. I used to like engage more. Now
Road
I'm
rage,
like,
yeah.
I hope. You know what? I'm hoping the law of averages just takes them out. You know what? Why do I need to correct them? Why do I need to save them? Maybe me talking to them saves them.
Can I shout out Mark
You know?
DeBonus's joke about a car phone?
Yeah, go for
The
it.
car, his joke about a car phone was that you could call not the other people's phone in the car, was that you could call them through their license plate. You're like, "Hey, buddy, what the fuck was that back there?"
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
But yeah, no. When it comes
Be more
to
accountability. If you
Or
could
even
bring
send a text to the car. Be
Yeah,
like,
you just-
idiot.
like the TTC, like when your bus is coming, you could do like the dit and type their thing in, and it goes right to them.
Yeah. The thing is when it comes to the indicator lights, and I've noticed this, it tends to be the nicer cars. The Mercs, the Beamers, the Audis, maybe a couple of Mustangs.
I've seen it. I can't say it's
But
all that.
No. I've noticed, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, I'm not against aggressive driving. I think if done correctly, you can sometimes.
I'm against aggressive driving.
No. Here's the thing. I've done things where I've been driving and for some reason it's a 60, but for some reason everybody's going 40. I don't know what it is. And I've done things where I lead the pack. I cut in, I cut out, and I'm leading the pack. And all of a sudden, I notice these cars like, oh, he can go 60, I can go 60 too. And then people are finally moving up. I think if you can drive, if you know how to drive, and we're talking like, drive safely, but, with a little bit of oomph, then you can carry it off. But I don't think that you should, you have to be able to use your signals. You have to be able to communicate to other drivers. Because that's the thing. If people don't know what you're going to do, that's when shit goes. Oh, that's another thing. So with the signals, another thing I've been noticing too, when especially when you drive downtown areas like Kirk was saying, or near the cherry blossoms, sometimes people are looking for destinations. Sometimes there's Ubers. And here's the thing I notice. People will sometimes drive, all of a sudden slow down to a speed, and you're behind them and like, what the fuck are they doing? What are they doing? Well, like you're in this big, what the hell are they doing? You're kind of like, okay, maybe I want to escape, whatever. That's what hazard lights are for. If you don't know where you're going, or you're trying to look for a place and you need to slow down and you need to, or maybe you're nervous, maybe you're a new driver, and that's the thing they don't teach. But maybe you don't know what you're doing. Slow down, put your indicator lights, and let people know, hey, listen, go around me. Because once you put your indicator lights, bikers, cyclists, people can get around you. But
Do you believe all driving tests
yes,
should happen downtown Toronto, rush hour?
I think
Or even just
No.
downtown Toronto. It doesn't have to be rush hour because that's like a specific time. But like, you know what? I would like to see that grid.
Yeah.
That's where everybody's got to go, and you got to navigate that shit, and you got to do it right. And if you fuck around,
right.
you're done.
No, but you know
You're
what
done.
you know what I am a fan of,
And,
And
you're
I-
lucky if it's in the winter.
No,
double whammy.
You know what I am a fan of, and I started seeing this, and it's kind of cheesy. I've seen this on a couple of vehicles where they'll put a sticker and be like, new driver, don't be aggressive.
You know what?
Like-
I think
like-
I saw one.
I
think
I saw one, and you know
saying,
what?
Or no, maybe it was driver and
Why don't they just write baby on
It's a
board?
driver car.
Or you
No.
know
Can
what?
they just
No.
write baby on
Baby
board,
on
and that
board-
gets it all?
Baby on board, yeah. Basically, you're allowed to just
Baby
They're,
on
because
board.
they're the baby.
It's still you can't signal. If anything, people with that sign
Yeah,
signal more. Like they're very like
yeah.
safe. Like they're gonna
And you know
signal.
what? As a driver who
It
is
just means they're not gonna speed.
Yeah.
And like what I was told was the baby on board sign
Yeah.
was more. I don't know where it came from, and like it kind of makes sense to me. Is that if I see one in a parking lot,
yeah,
and I'm gonna park next to it,
yeah,
I'm aware that they may
Have a
need
stroller.
more room
yes,
to get the kid in and out of the
Oh,
the
okay.
door,
And
which
you
means
always
they're gonna open their door as full as they can, depending on what side that car
They
seat's
can
on.
ding ya.
They could ding your car.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's a good-
and you always check to see if they left the kid in the car.
yeah.
no.
I'm just
And
I mean, like, because you're a concerned person, you're like, maybe they're the most
like
people.
I've noticed dogs bark. I'm sure I would notice a child
They
screaming
didn't
or
crack
crying.
they didn't crack the
Yeah.
window.
But first of all, if the kid's not making any noise, I'm not going to notice it. So it's either fine or it's sleeping,
yeah, I personally stay away from.
or it could be worse. But I mean, what am I going to do with that?
I personally keep my distance away from baby, because again, they're driving at a different. Again, they're trying to protect the life of their kid.
I had a Beamer,
and all that
man,
stuff.
and like like he wedged me in, and like
baby
it
son?
was unbelievable. I can't remember. I don't think so. But anyways, I was at like an aquarium shop. But anyway, and there was lots of parking, and the guy way too close. Like I could barely squeeze in myself.
Right.
And I got like whatever, and I couldn't back out. I was like, so I opened the door, and like I leaned it so like it was as far open as I could get it, but like there wasn't enough room, and I was just agitated that day, and I just rammed my door into his car like 5 times, and I really just leaned into it, and I scraped this whole fucking chunk of paint off, and it was a nice deep blue, a brand new BMW, and fuck you, and I'll do it again.
Jeez.
And I'll wake up and do it.
I'm just
again.
kidding. Maybe I won't do it again, but I did it that time. I was in a dark place that day.
Another thing I want to talk about that they don't teach. Like here's my theory. I believe there's.
There's somebody gonna hear this, be like, I was at that aquarium.
Hey, you know where to find him. The other guy's
I
podcast.
drive a BMW.
It was
I
blue,
drove-
it
I
was
drove
blue
BMW.
like the ocean. He took it away from
Here's
me.
the thing. I think there's things that they teach you in driving school. It's almost like they teach you the basics, but they don't teach you the.
That's exactly what they teach
They
you.
don't
in
teach
driving
you.
School.
They don't teach you real life driving. So let me give you another hidden clue to the new drivers and to maybe some of the guys who are thinking. There are things called lanes, and the lanes. Some of these lanes, even though there's signs that say that's the posted sign of the speed limit. No. Here's how it works. Your far right lane is your slow lane. That's your lane where people are either trying to figure out where they want to go or they want to pull off or they want to whatever. Then you have your
Otherwise known as the road head lane.
There you go. Yeah, that's the perfect spot where you want to begin your. Well, I mean, I was gonna say the fast lane is where you want to risque some things, but anyways, let's move over to the center lane. The center lane.
No, the fast lane's for anal only.
Okay.
Is that what you?
I think that's only in Sarnia.
All right.
okay.
I see you do that.
The center lane is where you're just cruising. That's for the. Jesus Christ. That's for.
I was just thinking about the last podcast where Kevin's like reverse doggy style.
I'm not
You're
even-
like,
I'm not even
what
gonna-
is that?
I'm not even gonna go there.
So is
Just
reverse?
turn around,
I'm not even gonna answer. that.
right?
Is
Wouldn't
reverse?
that just be missionary? Or
No, he said reverse. I still don't know what that means.
neither do I.
All I can think
It's
like
a
that.
new Kama Sutra.
Does
look it up.
anybody
No.
know what the reverse doggy style is? Because I
it
still
must-
can't figure
he
it
must
out.
It's called front. It's called forward-facing anal. Anyways,
I think it's probably the Amazon.
forward face.
Have you guys seen that Amazon's position?
no, what's the
Amazonian?
Amazon position?
It's like when the girl looks like she's fucking you, but you're fucking. It's a weird position. Like it's the position of the Me Too movement. You know, like it's just like gives women empowerment in bed. It's like it looks like from like.
I don't know about this, and that's an interesting way to describe it.
Okay.
I first started seeing this within the last 2 years, and I associate it with the current landscape in femininity.
Would you enjoy being a part of it?
I mean, yeah, I think.
What do you mean? It's like they're fucking you.
It looks like I got.
Are we back to pegging?
No. I don't really know how
What
to
are they
describe
using?
it.
It's like Tom Cruise.
I
We were inverted.
I don't know how to describe
I
this to you
just
unless I
don't-
show you guys porn, which I don't really want to do. So, okay, how's the best way to describe
All right.
it?
I was talking about lanes, but I actually
If you're
now
curious, go look it up. I don't know what it is. I don't know what either one of these two guys are talking about.
Amazonian style. It's like what Wonder Woman would
And maybe
probably
I do, and I just don't know the name of it.
Right.
That's a possibility. Like there's probably a ton of moves that I
like
just don't know the name of.
Yeah.
It's like this.
You know.
Yeah. Oh God.
And then maybe while you're at it, look up reverse doggy style.
Yeah, look it up, look it up.
Finally find out what that
Dude,
means.
I'm telling you, if you punch that shit in Pornhub, something's gonna come up. Anyways, I want to get back to the center lane. I just want to wrap up the whole driving thing. So the center lane is where you got your family cars It's where you got your Toyota Corollas. It's where your truckers are usually, because your center, it's basically the cruising lane. It's where you're at a steady speed. You got to be careful, of drifting to the left or the right. But generally speaking, I'm just cruising along, not a care in the world. Then the most important lane, and my personal favorite lane, is the far left lane, known as the fast lane, or the passing lane, as the legalities like to term it. But the fast lane is where you want
the legalities like to term it.
Where the legal justice fucking road system, whatever they call it, MTO.
I'm not sure if these lanes are accurate.
Remember, Kevin doesn't have good grammaticals.
I don't, and I don't care.
It's okay. It's all right.
Continue.
So the passing lane is where you want to pass other vehicles, which means you will be at an increased speed to do so. It is also a place where if you maybe have a faster vehicle and would like to see what that thing can do, is where you want to be. But here's the thing. If you notice that there is a faster car behind you, maybe it's an asshole in a G35 or it's just an asshole, move over and let the asshole...
Apparently G35s are assholes.
Beamers too. Yeah. Here's the thing. The fast lane is for going fast. Unfortunately, if there's another guy that wants to be faster, let him by. That's where it is. Don't play that tug of war game of, oh, he's tailgating me, I'm already doing whatever, I'm going to slow down. Like, dude, it's just not worth it, because all it's going to do is lead to the next problem, which I want to bring up, which is fuckers who try to speed in the slow lane on the outside, or sorry, the slow lane.
What do you think about pace cars? When you pace somebody, like someone's going like way fast than they should be, but then you go as fast as them, a little bit behind them, because the cop most likely is going to pull the faster car.
I'm good with, and I've been.
Is that Is that a good strategy though, or
here's the thing: you could still probably get dinged when it comes to being the cop,
because the cop could still pull you over.
But I'm a big fan of. I'm a proponent of, if you're in traffic and there's a guy doing that, like, oh, I'm going to lead the pack, I'm going to get behind him and let's get to where we're going a little faster, safely, of course. But yeah.
No, I mean like going like really fast, and you're just going a little bit slower, like a little bit, and then he's like still breaking the law more than you.
Yeah.
Like, or whoever it is,
Yeah.
So
again, here's the thing.
I think I've heard people say that's like a strategy they use like on the highway to get, if they're want to go faster, but they don't want to feel like they're going to get caught.
Yeah.
You can't go over if you. On a highway, if it's posted at 100, if you're going anything above 115, 120.
Yeah, 120 is the
120
pushing it. Yeah,
you're gonna, and you see a cop, chances are he's gonna pull you over.
Yeah.
If you're going 135, be expected.
Yeah.
125, chances are he's gonna take you.
Right.
Depends on the guy, but 120 is your threshold. If I'm going 115, I don't expect to be pulled over.
Yeah. It's
but
also
120. You know what? He might. That's where you're like,
yeah.
And then anything over that, like you see a cop, be like, shit. And I used to get a lot of tickets when I was younger, like a lot of tickets, and I've been pulled over on the highway many times over 120 on city streets.
Can I mean?
I know where the thresholds
are. I know
I've
never been pulled over by a police officer before.
I got pulled over for lights, but I've never been pulled over. And I
guess I didn't really drive that much.
Area.
Like I've had a car, but mostly like just for work and stuff.
You know what? What's your driving history? Since we're here, let's talk about driving history. What's
my driving history? Like
what kind of vehicles? How long you been driving?
Mostly a Toyota Echo from 2001.
Okay.
She was put down when I moved back here. Her name was Judith.
Nice.
And my sister named her.
Yeah.
So it was a her. I never gave it a name. So she gave her the name Judith.
Right.
So my sister, brother, and I, and my mom bought it, but then my brother got it next, and then he ended up getting a truck when he got his first, good job.
Yeah.
My sister drove it, and I drove it.
What kind of a truck was it?
He bought a Toyota, something.
Good brand. Okay.
Now, his truck was really sweet. Like, it was a good truck. I think it was like a Tundra or not.
Oh, okay. Tundra's good.
Something like that. One of those, nice trucks.
Yeah.
It was like a $40,000 truck.
Yeah.
So, he was happy to go from that to that.
Of course.
And I got to drive that truck a few times, and it's pretty nice. It was nice. But I mostly drove that car, and the other car I would drive would be my mom's Corolla. And then for about less than a year, I had my own car that was bought for me.
Yeah.
that like was a 1995 Toyota Avalon, because my mom didn't want to. My mom's other car, the Echo, at that point was back with my sister, and then I ended up getting this other car because she was like really cheap. But then, of course, it was a 1995, and this was in 2015 or 16.
Right.
So yeah, like it was between those years, yeah, and it was just like I wouldn't say a lemon because it had a good life, Okay. But for me, it was bad. It just like had problems as soon as I got it. So,
any major issues you've had in your driving career? Accidents or?
I backed into my sister's friend's mom or someone's car once.
Oh, for a second I thought like mom.
Yeah, no, I didn't back into any people. No, it's just they like I was backing out of a driveway and his car was coming the other way, right? So I'm trying to do one of those full swing backs.
Yeah. And
I didn't realize that they'd left their car directly in front of the driveway on the other back end. So which isn't like I should have noticed it, but I was just more focused on this car coming because I didn't see them. So I was trying. So I was just trying to do my best to like get out of the way, and then I kind of just didn't like fully swing over enough, and I kind of like back ended into it.
Right.
So, but I think that got solved though. So never really affected my driving record because there was never like I think it was solved out of out of insurance or whatever.
Right.
And all the time I drove a car, I don't think I was ever pulled over by a police officer.
Nice.
White privilege.
You guys haven't lived.
No, I haven't.
So you're going one way. This is a true story.
I hope this is better than my story.
This is a story, so I mean, whatever. But you're going one way, and you're driving a guy who you kind of know, and you're kind of going from bar to bar, and you're going to this bar. Yeah, all right, I'll give you a ride. And you're going that way, and then because he's had some drinks, and all of a sudden he busts out drugs on your dashboard. It could be whatever. Yeah. It could be marijuana. Could be something else. But either way, it's all illegal at this point. And then you see a police car going the opposite direction.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I'm going a little fast. Actually, there's two different stories. So you're going a little fast, and then he hits the cherries and does a U-turn, and you're like, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
Now you've made a decision. So when he hits the cherries, you hit the gas. And I knew the road, so there's a bend. I ended up blah, blah, blah. I got away.
Smokey and the Bandit. You pulled a Smokey and the Bandit.
I did. It felt good. Nice. Yeah, it felt good.
Nice.
The other time, it was a police blockade. And, I went in behind some apartment buildings and hid the car. And then they had a car come after. Yeah, anyways. Yeah.
So what's your driving history? Like, what's
your
your road,
good, but
your
I had a
road
lot
story?
of tickets.
But, like, okay, what was your first car? You owned, not like you borrowed
the
your
first
parents.
car that I bought was $500. And it was a 1984 or 82 Trans Am.
No way. Oh, you had a Trans Am?
Yeah.
And what are you driving now?
I was 15 years old.
Oh.
I didn't even have a driver's license.
But fuck,
I drove around my neighborhood illegally.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I had it for a summer, and then it was
Yeah.
it was old and pretty shit because it was $500. So I gave it. I basically just dropped it off at a one of these gas stations. I know,
dude.
The T top. It was T.
If you met me anytime, like, you know that car.
Oh no, I had a buddy who loved it, but you didn't have the money. Where were you? We were all young. Nobody could afford to fix it.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to keep it. I didn't have a driver's license.
If you had that car now, right? Like.
I know.
Anyways,
the T-top leaked. Anyways, that was my first car, and then I drove my dad's minivan, which is cool.
What kind of a minivan?
Aerostar. Extended LTD. It was all right. It was comfortable. Lots of girls. That was like my car. Like before I got my license, I was like driving it. He'd let me take it.
Yeah.
And then I got my license with that car or van, and I drove I drove that for a while. Like a lot of my friends would be like, "Oh, that was a good van or a good vehicle."
Right.
Had a lot of fun in that. A lot of space in the back seat. You know what I mean?
It's a van, yeah.
And then I got rid of that. Then I bought.
You can have a lot of fun in the backseat of a car, son.
Then I bought
a sandwich.
Look at all this room I have for my KFC box. Then I bought a used 1991 Cutlass Supreme, which was all right, and I had that. I drove that into the ground until like '02.
Right.
Anyways, I had it longer than that, like 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And then I bought brand new. I had a Grand Am GT.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that ride.
You did. You saw the end of it. Yeah. It was old. Ride. She was older then. Yeah. And that was it. And now I drive a squished minivan, Dodge Journey. So yeah, it's all right.
It's a circle of life, man. You start off with a sweet. Listen, you start off with a sweet Trans Am and.
Well, no, it was used up a bit.
Dude,
it had a hard life by the time I got it.
Listen, you can now, like, when your kid grows up and he's like, Dad, what car? You can now say, my first car was a Trans Am.
What I appreciate is that, I had a Trans Am for a summer and it was kind of cool. But also, like, I could say, like, okay, I had a car from an era when cars were kind of cool still.
Yeah.
Where nowadays, people, like, I guess the equivalent is, like, I don't even know.
Right.
Like, what, like, they don't have the same selections, right? Like, those cars aren't just falling off trees. So it's like a Type R or like I don't like some like a G something like an Infinity.
Well, the Japanese cars, yeah.
Yeah, something like what like the equivalent to that like a.
It's hard.
Mustang maybe like I don't know like kids.
Yeah, I mean,
Camaro.
Yeah.
A Camaro. I guess that's all that's left, right?
Well, no, the big three muscle cars are the Mustang, Camaro, Challenger, Charger. It's a 4-door, but I'll give it to
I wouldn't
them.
say Chargers are in there. I'd say they're not. It's not the same. The Challenger. Okay. Yeah. Challenger's in there.
What about a Corvette? You can't get Corvettes anymore?
That's more of a
that's
premium.
That's
a more premium. Like you're looking like we're talking in terms of like
affordability,
like what a Trans Am would have been.
What a Trans
or like a Gremlin or
no.
But yeah, so today's kids they might fall into like a car that's 10 years old.
Right.
But I think a 10-year-old Challenger would be cool.
Yeah.
Well,
kids nowadays
now,
for sure.
Kids now they think differently. I remember talking to some guy who likes cars at my work, and he was like they're all like. They like these like kind of like imports like Mitsubishi or whatever stuff like that was in the Fast and the Furious movies that you can like.
Well, that's been going on for 25 years.
Yeah,
right?
but like it's like stuff
since
that's
the mid 90s.
That's still happening. Like these sort of like introductory cars that are easy to modify. That's the kind of thing that like new kind of gearheads are getting into. Whereas like they're not like into the more classic kind of like muscle cars.
No, there's a real divide there. It's like Marvel and DC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like you're either a classic car or like a muscle car kind of guy,
an import guy,
or you're an import. Like there's no like I mean I guess I know a couple people that are a little bit of both.
Yeah,
like they can respect.
I love them
like
all.
a souped up, something.
Yeah.
Something Japanese,
but
or an import but they also will respect like you know what I mean, a North American muscle car. But mostly it's like if you like one, you probably don't like the other. It's kind of like a Harley guy versus a crotch rocket guy.
Everybody else.
Yeah, basically.
I like Volkswagens, like the Golf
GTIs are sick.
GTIs.
See, I'm not a Volkswagen fan.
GTIs actually. I've sat in one. They're pretty good.
That's the car I almost bought. Like that was gonna be my very first car I ever bought. Was after driving my mom's Echo for so long.
Like a Golf.
It's like the GTI is like the race version of a Golf.
It's a sport version.
No, I know. I dated a girl who owned one.
So it was either between that one or like there's an R1 now. It's like a Golf R.
See, to me, that's a ladies' car.
The GTI? Because it's like a hatchback? Or?
Volkswagen Golf, to me, that's a ladies' car.
Well, I mean, the GTI is a bit nicer.
Or a particular kind of guy. Like, remember in Fast
and
Furious?
a particular kind of guy. Good guy.
Maybe a little off, but he's got a lot of heart.
I just, for some reason, it was the car. It was the car that to me looked the coolest, like the interior and the exterior and everything. Like kind of like
Golf looked the coolest.
It's the GTI. It's
different. I know.
You know what though? It's a very good machine. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm talking a bit of shit about it, but I'm just saying in my
it's no
life,
rabbit. It's no rabbit, but it's
in my life, or out of the people I grew up, like people would look at that car and be like, it's a lady's car.
Yeah.
If it's a Golf.
I had an aunt who had.
Well, are we talking Golf hatch? Yeah,
it's probably hatch. Yeah, the GTR.
Even the 4-door, I think, is a hatch. So there's a 2-door.
There is a 4. Yeah.
Like the one I was about to get was like a 4-door, but it was like 2013.
Is it also?
13.
Yeah.
So there's like.
I'm thinking they got the Jettas.
Yeah, no, they have. There's options for
And,
the
what's the other
GTIs.
one? The Passat. Is that
Passat's like
is that Volkswagen?
yeah, that's like a sedan.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like any of those. To be honest, like
I guess I'm into the GTI. I don't know why.
I'm partial to the Jetta.
I just had like friends who also had it, and I was like, I kind of like that. Like I see it up close,
it's
and
what
like,
you
and
growing
I
up
kinda,
I had a lot
It's
of friends
also-
with Civics and Hondas, and I did not go anywhere near that car.
But I guess to me it was like
Yeah,
it's
I-
neat
I
because
Blaze your own trail, my
it's
friend.
it's like
Can't do
it's
Honda.
like it looks kind of like like a regular car, but like under the hood, it's like it's pretty
Yeah.
ballsy.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, I get it. The
That's-
GTI, yeah.
That's kind of like how I see myself,
Right. Car. Yeah. Yeah.
my buddy.
More
just
than-
bought
more than meets
a
the eye.
BMW M series Shadow.
Ooh,
Like-
Shadowfax.
No, it's a beautiful car.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a beautiful car. He's a
Yeah.
BMW like a salesman.
Okay. So he's
Mm.
got, yeah.
But yeah, oh my god,
Great
it's
cars.
a beautiful
My
car.
first
I'm
car.
like, wow.
Was
Well, his is brand new.
yeah.
The
Looks
first guy
good.
who ever pulled in front of me and didn't signal,
Most
BMW,
likely.
right there.
So when it comes to my history, I first learned how to drive when I was about 13, 14. My dad had like a used Mazda. We had a farm, and my dad had like a used Mazda 3 from like the 90s. And like,
Where was your farm? I want to know more about this now.
it's in Stouffville.
Hazard County.
No. So here's the thing. I grew up watching.
Hazard
I grew up
County.
watching Knight Rider and fucking Dukes of Hazards and all these cool shows. So when I was a kid, so I first started on a
He's got a cousin named Luke.
maybe. I first started on
My
a.
favorite show was
Wait, which one's
Yeehaw.
Ron?
I first started on a lawnmower because we had a lawnmower because we mowed lawn, and I
That doesn't count.
I started getting good at that.
The
and
riding lawnmower.
And
Are
then,
you counting that as your first driving experience at 13?
No, that was like maybe 10 or 11. But anyways, I was able to ride that. Anyways, the first time is my dad, like, because it was a farm, it was an open thing. He knew like I knew how to drive the
All right, get there, Kevin.
go-kart. Long story short is my first drive was in a Mazda 3, and I eventually got to the point where I'd rip that shit around the farm, jump hills, drive into cornfields, and do shit like that. So I remember the first time going into traffic because I wasn't supposed to, but I went out a gate, and I ended up going into real traffic at like 13, 14, and
Mazda 3, is that the ladies' car?
now it's a lady's car, but I don't know. But it got the job done. I eventually went from that to learning how to drive a Ford F-150, like a 1980s one. Drove that.
Yeah, there you go.
And then drove.
That's a man's vehicle.
Then
That's
drove my
when I
dad's-
wake up.
Is that the
Going
old
out to
style,
work
like,
now?
where it said Ford written on the tailgate?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But it was like
F-O, the big ones, right? I don't even know if it was a tree on the tree, but 3 on the tree is when they had like, you have like, it's like a, I can't even explain. It's like a manual for a pickup truck, but it only has 3 gears. But I don't know if this one was, because, anyways, long story short, my first car. So I eventually started driving my dad's car and stuff. I actually didn't get my license till I was about 20, which was kind of late, because like most kids were doing it like in high school, but I was busy with like video games.
Yeah, we
and
talked
shit.
about that.
So I eventually got
Also,
my
you're
license.
like you moved here, right?
I
so like
eventually lived in the city.
I meet a lot of people from Toronto. Like you grow up around that time, you should have a license that don't have a license.
Oh,
right?
I know. Yeah, actually, there's a study saying that there's a lot of kids right now that are not getting their licenses because there's things like Uber and transportation.
We've talked about this how many times on this podcast
Yeah.
about people not getting
Yeah.
their licenses in the city.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, drove that. Eventually got my license, and then my first car. I think I was 20. Oh, so my first car. So okay, so the way it worked was I went to Chicago to do some improv stuff, and these girls asked like for me to come down with them, and I was like, yeah, go to Chicago with some girls and do some improv. Great. And they were like, oh man, how are we gonna get down there? And I didn't have a car at the time, but I was like, yeah, I have a car. Yeah, let's go. And then I'll drive and all that stuff. Yeah. So I
in
basically
the slow lane.
so I didn't have a car.
Girls, you're not getting the why I'm in the slow lane.
So
I know why you're driving so slow. Get in the fast lane.
So
So we're never
story-
gonna get there.
so
Can you drive faster?
So
And
eventually,
put some pants on.
so I actually did Chicago in 8 hours. So anyways, calm down. So eventually I had to go search for my first car. Now, when it came to my first car, I was always like, I just couldn't do.
What? Okay, hang on a second. Here.
Yes.
Did you just tell us a story and didn't even tell us about the car?
Because I was gonna get the car. I'm gonna tell you about how I.
You told us a whole story.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah,
And said you drove to Chicago in 8 hours with girls. This is a car talk.
this is
No,
this is
I don't know what we're talking about.
This
now.
is a Nolan film right now. I'm telling you the beginning.
It sounds like I'm
beginning.
kind of lost.
So, anyways, I told the girls I had a car. I did not have a car, so now I was in a position where I had to get a car. I had the money saved up because I've been planning to get a car. Now, logically speaking, I should have gone with a simple Honda Civic, a Toyota, something, whatever. But I was like, this is my first car. It's also the first time I'm going to be driving some ladies down to Chicago. I got to make an impression.
Did he buy a car just to drive ladies to Chicago?
So I ended up buying a BMW, a 1999 BMW 3 Series.
So hang on a second. So
green.
you turned yourself into a chauffeur.
Murray, you know me. I do these things. Yes. Yeah. I mean,
For a non-girlfriend.
for 2 non-girlfriends. Yeah. So I ended up buying a BMW 1999 3 Series, which was a great car. It eventually died. Long story
Kirk,
short.
make a note that when we figure out time travel, we have to go back and stop that.
No, because see, here's the thing. This car leads...
I got a lot of notes how I'm gonna go smack Kevin around.
Hold on. This car...
Oh, just
add that to the
hold
list?
on.
Add that in.
Oh, yeah.
Before you jump, this car leads to a Rise of the Phoenix story, okay? So
I'm thinking this might be
No,
the
no, no, no,
explanation
no, no, no.
for every single thing
kind
that
of
I've
is.
ever known
It
about
kind of
you.
is. It
So
kind of
I
is.
would like to change it.
It kind of is, but we can't do that. It's not the MCU. Anyways, so I buy this BMW, drive down. Well, okay, a little prehistory with that. The first time I ever got scared in a car was the first night I got the car back to my place, telling all my boys, yeah, I got a Beamer, all this stuff, and like everyone's thing. And my boy,
Not picking up a hitchhiker?
no. He tells me, dude, why don't we go to Niagara Falls? Let's go. Like I'll once we get
Your boy
there.
or the hitchhiker?
One of my boys. Now the thing is, I didn't have
When
insurance.
did the hitchhiker come into this?
There's no hitchhiker in this story. Jesus Christ. Long story short is I didn't have insurance in this car yet.
They would have sucked your dick probably.
They'd be like going the slow way.
God, Jesus Christ. So I didn't have.
I got nowhere to be fast.
I didn't
And I'm
have,
sure he would have appreciated.
Oh my God. I didn't have insurance on the vehicle. I just got it, so I was like, no, guys, I can't really. But as you know, I sometimes get peer pressure into doing things. I'm one of those guys. So I eventually got peer pressure, and I did the math in my head. I was like, so the car cost me $5,000. If I do get pulled over, I looked it up. It was a $5,000 ticket.
This is a very interesting.
I basically took the gamble and was like, fuck it. Let's go out with my boys in the car. So we get down to Niagara Falls. We leave again at nighttime, so it's not too bad. I get down there pretty quickly. We go down.
It sounds like a confession, not really an incident.
And well, here's the thing. I end up, we end up going to ride a bull or something like that. But anyways, I had a couple of drinks too. So like, and I was on as a like 20.
What was his name?
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. So anyways, long story short is we're now coming back from Niagara Falls 1 or 2 in the morning. No fucking guys were fucked.
I could tell.
Jesus Christ. I had a couple drinks in me. I was obviously, and again, I don't condone this, but I was an idiot. We're driving back, and then as we're getting back to Toronto, one of my boys, again through peer pressure, is like, "Yo, man, what can Beamers do? What can these things do?" And I'm like, "Oh, don't worry." So I end up.
The correct answer is kill us all. Right?
As we're getting back into the city, I end up speeding. I end up getting her up to like maybe 160, and then as we're I zoom by, and all of a sudden I see the lights, fucking like go off, and because there was a cop basically on the far left. I was like and he came he was dark, and he came out of nowhere, and boom, I'm doing 160. He comes behind me, and I'm like. At that point, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Did he take you?
So here's the thing, and this is where if you believe in God, this was one of those moments where I was like, I ended up slowing down to 90. I fucking was ready to fucking pull over. This cop ends up going 3 lanes over and then ends up taking, I think it was Lakeshore, ends up disappearing off into the night. And I was just like, holy fuck. Like, I thought I was fucked. I went that next morning and signed up for insurance. Like, I called up.
Roger. I've got a 160 on the Gardner here. I'm
I
going to take them.
Dude.
Negative. We've just got a box of donuts.
Dude. I called everybody. I ended up getting insurance.
I'm on
for
my
the
way.
thing.
What if like a major crime was happening?
Thank God for that.
Maybe it was like.
So, anyways, yeah, I learned like that. That really put the.
Do you think this would be a really good like insurance commercial?
Maybe, because I was shitting my pants. Again, not only was I like had a couple of drinks.
Sometimes I'm like, why do I need insurance?
I was under 25, so like I had a lot of shit. Like it would have fucked me over.
I've driven around with an open 2-4 in the back seat with 4 people in the car.
Maybe the insurance commercial needs to go like this. It's a young Kevin with his impressionable friends with no insurance. He gets pulled over. Woo-woo. You're going to jail, son. You're going to ride the bull tonight. And then it's like, that's why you need insurance, everybody.
Anyways, with that, Jesus Christ.
And then it shows the clean clothes. And it's like, what's your name? Bull. Some guy.
It's like hands to do the thing.
His hands coming out.
So, anyways, that car, I ended up using it. I drove down to Chicago with the ladies, and
there's a long explanation on
drove
one
them
thing.
back. And anyways, the car lasted me for about 2 years. I eventually, this leads into the nuke story, which we told maybe a year ago.
That was a long description on how you got your first car.
It's my first car, and I loved it. It was a good car. But yeah, that car eventually, I had good memories in that, and then eventually
he was that guy. He drove so let me sum it up. He drove a used old BMW, just like all the other assholes that that bought a used BMW in the city of Toronto.
Yes.
Done.
Yes. At under 25, and eventually that vehicle. Eventually that vehicle was driven into the ground. It ended up costing me more than it just financially hurt me, and it was also at a time when I was not doing so well, so I lost that car. But then eventually I was like, once I climbed out of that financial pit, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have a game plan. My next car is gonna be something that is sensible, that's not gonna give me any issues, and is going to be reliable. And I ended up getting a 2009 Ford Mustang. And that's where I am today. Oh, and I also have a Harley. So, yeah.
I guess I'm going to stop clapping because Murray wasn't really behind it.
Yeah. So.
Oh, no, I was behind it.
So.
It's kind of sarcastic. I was like.
But.
I was behind it.
The mistakes that
fully enjoyed it.
The mistakes I learned from my first car, like a first relationship, I will now never carry to my next car. I now baby my car. I take care of it. Whatever Sally needs.
Let's back up. Your first problem was telling people that you would drive them to Chicago when you didn't actually have a vehicle to drive them anywhere.
I sometimes like to play a big game.
Well, that's called lying and bullshitting. So, don't want to do that, and it kind of forced your hand, and then you bought more car than you probably should have.
I always eat more than I can chew.
Yeah, but you went for the BMW because you thought that was a cool choice. Meanwhile, there's a stigma that goes with it.
It does.
For every guy that you see that's like, "That's right, bro."
Yeah.
That's the guy.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want the guy to be like, "That's how I like your car,
again,
man. I like your car."
This was the mind of a 22-year-old me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had that. Now I have more respect for the things that I have. I enjoy them. I don't go I take care of the things I have, and I don't.
I think you do respect things that you have.
Now I
think you
care
do.
about them.
I think you understand that it's hard to get things.
Yes, I that's the thing. I learned that don't squander it off. Here's the thing: treat yourself, but stay within your limits. And
give yourself a taste of the good life.
Yeah.
But don't let the good life get a taste of you.
Sure.
That's my. Sorry.
Yeah. But I think So that was my driving history. Now I'm currently driving a Mustang. I have a Harley. I might be getting a bigger bike, but I have a Sporty. I need a big one.
If you do,
I like speed.
word of advice:
Yes.
if you're gonna be in the slow lane,
Yes.
tint your windows as dark as you possibly can. Otherwise, people start to slow down and like match your speed when you're in the slow lane to see what's going on when things are going on in on the slow lane.
Right.
And then you end up like giving somebody a thumbs up because you know what I mean. You're in the slow lane.
Exactly.
You know what I mean.
Anyways,
just a
And
general safety tip, or word of
and
advice.
you're
for
you're
people
not
out
a
there.
bang bus. You're not trying to show off out there.
I'm just saying.
You're a lady that won't like
I'm just
that,
saying
or
things
gentlemen.
happen.
People don't want to. People don't want to be.
Because some girls they get gamey.
People don't want to be jumping your bones down there and being viewed at by other people.
But it happens.
Yeah.
316 day. A lot of everybody see their Stone Cold Steve Austin highlights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
miss
saw some
all
of that.
I missed
Well,
that
there was
shit.
Pie Day a couple days ago, dude. There's like a day for everything.
There's
All right, you know
Mario
what?
Day. Mario Day is March 10th because Mario. Like 10. Yeah.
St. Patty's Day. I was working. What was I doing? Bartending? I don't know. Yeah, bartending or working in a bar. And then a girl. I told you this story. And then whatever, she was there. I remember because I was wearing green. It was St. Patty's Day. But yeah, that was our first hookup, I guess. Or I think I hooked up with her that night.
How do I go to messages? Kirk, we're good, man.
Messenger.
The messenger
No,
of death.
Kirk, he needs help.
About post reviews. Where do you go to messages?
I don't know. Like what? For our
For
message?
Facebook, how do you go like on our page?
Oh, if you're on your phone, you need to have the messenger app.
Son of a bitch! But I just had it somewhere.
Want me to look it
Do
up?
you have a messenger app?
I do, but I don't know if I'm using our thing though. One sec. Oh, there it is. Other guys. Other guys. Here, take. Let's use my phone.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll lead it in, and then.
Ready?
Yes.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 BMWs. 3, 2, 1.
So, anyways, that's all I got to say about the rules of the road, car talk. But
When is it okay to pick up a hitchhiker?
if they're hot and willing,
Kirk?
I don't know. You're in the mood.
I have a feeling Kirk would find because you're such a nice guy that you would give people it would just be an interest. Like I could see you having a very interesting time with anybody that's hitchhiking.
Well,
singing along to a song. Or
well,
something.
I guess if you're gonna take my kidney, yeah.
I don't know.
Where Kevin is basically where you're actually giving a hitchhiker a ride, because when I came up hitchhiking, people did it to get up to Molson Park and shit to go watch a music festival. People, it was very common for teenagers to hitchhike to Barrie.
Back when there was an Uber, right?
Well, it's just different. But you could take a bus, but I mean, it costs money. Yeah. So people are fuck it, I'll save my money for weed or booze and but anyways, and I personally wouldn't pick up a hitchhiker unless it was crazy shit weather and you saw their broken down car and they're help me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Then it's okay, then you're offering assistance to a fellow motorist.
Yeah.
Or that scenario and somebody's out there and you're all right, well shit, I guess I gotta help them. They don't have a jacket on, something went down.
Yeah.
But it's kind of saving somebody's life. But if somebody's got their thumb out, I'm probably just not stopping. Where Kirk, I can see maybe something that
I think a younger
that Sarnia mentality kicks in.
No, there's a younger version of me with would have been I used to be into that sort of idea. I'd see that when I was a kid. I'm yeah, pick them up. My mom's no, lock the doors, right away. But I remember the movie that changed my theory on that was Harlan Williams and Something About Mary, where he's 7-minute abs. He's what if someone comes around with 6-minute abs? he's that he was carrying a dead body. I was that was a funny thing, but I'm that's probably what all hitchhikers are, just crazy murderers. And that made me rethink maybe ever doing that. If I ever had the chance.
Maybe not, but I think if you did, it'd be a fun time for you.
Yeah, I'd probably be really pretty chatty.
Obviously, human life is in danger. I'm helping out. But if it's a weird dude.
So basically, if you see a hitchhiker,
Yes.
you are scanning to see if they are a vulnerable woman,
Possibly.
then you'll pull over.
That will likely increase the chances. Or if it's a Harley guy, listen, if your bike broke down, I'm stopping because Harley guys. Because we ride bikes, not because it's gay.
I'm
Anyways.
glad you clarified
No,
that
because-
because I was like,
Just to clarify, it's a Harley thing, or a motorcycle guy in general. Again, not a gay thing, just because bikes.
I don't think you have to keep saying that. We kind
I
of get
think
the
I
picture,
understand,
unless
like,
you're.
I have to do.
Now
I
I'm
have
kind
to.
of curious that maybe you're covering.
You accused me of something to do with bulls, so I kind
Hey,
of.
that was of your own doing, stud.
Anyways, Jesus Christ. So I
don't hide it,
Jesus
just accept it.
Christ. Normally, I save these things for the helpline, which we do every other pod.
So I guess my question now was one more question about the helping the biker guy.
Yes.
Are you gonna let the guy ride bitch with you? If like
I'm in my car, but if I was on my bike,
say you go up on your bike and
Yeah.
it's a guy broken down bike and he's like, can you just give me a lift to next town over? It'd be really appreciate it. Would you let him ride in the back with you you together?
well, if it's a fuel
like a Harry-
thing,
oh, if you're on your bike.
if it's a fuel thing, I'll just go get the fuel for him. But if he's like, I actually need to physically get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to give him a jump on.
Depends how big. Like if the guy is big and my bike is not equipped, we might have issues. But
Just like a Harry and Lloyd situation.
if I have to, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe,
On that scooter.
maybe. Jesus Christ. Anyways,
That's all I was just curious. That was came to
Anyways.
mind. So
I can just totally see him frozen.
anyways, we know I normally would say this for the helpline where, as you know, we like to help people with their problems.
Ooh, a helpline.
But this question actually came in. It was direct. It was, it's
it's hot off the press.
hot off the
Dun-dun,
presses.
dun-dun.
This is
Breaking
one
news.
and not only that, but it's a pretty detailed one, and I actually want to help this person right now. So, do you guys mind if I do a helpline question right now
Not at all.
to close this one off? So here's it's from a lady, a listener, and so I'm gonna say right on, and so she has a question. So here's my question. Me and my ex broke up recently, and he said that he wanted to stay friends. So I figured out I'd try seeing we were both going to be in the same area for the sport we like to play, and we would see each other. I told him I don't want to give him mixed signals or the wrong idea by staying friends. But he said he was cool with that. Guys will usually say that. A lot of friends said they think he thinks with us being friends, it will go back to something more. So they said not to drive him to places anymore. That's some good advice. So last night I told him I was going to be busy before our games with my sister, so I couldn't pick him up. I found out shortly after.
Why are you reading it like that?
Like what?
You know what I mean.
Like what? Well, I'm trying to add more oomph to the story. I'm okay. I don't know. I found out shortly.
And then
Can I see it? Yeah. Can I see it? Like, I'll just go.
Fine.
I'm just going to go back and say.
Wrap her up.
So here's my question. Me and my ex broke up recently, and he said that he wanted to stay friends, so I figured I'd try that, seeing we were both going to be in the same areas for the sport that we like to play, and we would see each other. I told him I don't want to give him mixed signals or the wrong idea by staying friends, but he said he was cool with it. Do you see how I'm reading
Then
it?
continue it. Let's go.
Now I'm going to flip to you.
Yes.
A lot of friends said that they think he thinks with us being friends, it will go back to something more.
Dude.
And I think I'm actually doing it better.
Okay.
Kirk?
Yeah,
No,
Kirk, finish her up.
No, like
Do you prefer Kevin's first reading over mine?
Kevin's reading like he just learned how to read.
Jesus Christ.
And then the man said, "Today, Junior."
The lady needs help. Sorry. I don't fucking give a shit about my fucking reading right now. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so last night I told him I was going to be busy before our games with my sister, so I couldn't pick him up. I said that right. I found out shortly after that he called my sister, who he did not know before me.
Who he did know.
who he did know before me. Oh, okay, so he did know the girl. You got to simplify things for me. I'm a little simple. To say what's up, and asked if she had heard from me. Would you guys think that's borderline starting to stalk someone? Should I just cut him off completely? So, Murray, just sum it up for us, because it was a little bit long-winded.
I read it. All right, so basically, it sounds like she
just broke up,
dated a guy.
Yep.
They sounds like they do similar activity.
Yep. So you're gonna see this person. She's gonna see this person.
Yeah. So it sounds like
way.
they broke up. It sounds like she didn't want to give him a ride to said activity, and used her sister as the ploy not to. Like, she was busy beforehand.
She was the buffer.
And he called the sister.
Yeah.
To find out like what's going on.
Yeah.
And she's saying, like, is that stalking her?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what she's saying.
Oh, trust me, if you know what stalking is.
No, but I think like it's all of that, right? So
yeah.
So I think that's the gist of it. Is that so she's dated a guy who she has this extracurricular, extra sporting event that she does with him, or like the teams.
They're gonna still be in contact. Basically,
so the world is kind of there. Like they're gonna, there's gonna be
so this is
contact.
Yes.
And basically, like that's her issue.
So this is not one of those Band-Aid rip-off, throw it away in the trash breakups. This is one of the slowly peel away, and it's still kind of lingering there. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be seeing this. You have contact with this person, right?
Yeah, but I think it's only like a 7-8 month thing.
Dude, but when it comes to a breakup, if you still see that person, there's always that. Especially from the guys' end.
Do you have any questions? Like by reading that?
Do I have questions?
What other information would you like to know?
Right.
To formulate like an even more in depth.
Yes, one is
answer. Kirk, what do you think? Given that, that's the base of this person's problem. What what else is there?
Like other questions to understand the situation.
Things. Like for me, one thing would be like you said, your sister.
Like if there's more detail that you could throw out about like that. What is he asking your sister about more than just like, have you heard from her? Maybe he's asking more particular things or something. Maybe that would be more of a hint that what he's getting at maybe is trying to get back together or get more info on what you're up to so he can make a move again.
See, my thing is, was that a lie? Like, did she actually see her sister or do something with her sister? Mm-hmm. Did her sister know that she was going to say that? Because otherwise her sister might be like, no, I haven't talked to her. Mm-hmm. So now you're kind of caught. So, like, you know what I mean?
So for me, I want to know more backstory. I want to know, why did you date him? Why did you break up with him? And what are your ultimate intentions with this guy? If you're like, you know what? I actually don't see, like, whatever, like this guy, maybe he did something bad. Who knows? Whatever. But the question is there a part of you that maybe's like, oh, maybe there is a chance of getting back? Because if that happens,
most guys kind of think that though.
I have supplemental. I do have one supplemental message.
Yes.
So the reason why in that it said that she was going to drive him to the thing.
Right.
He doesn't drive.
Well,
which is looked down upon in certain areas or the community.
Yeah, by certain men.
It's emasculating, as I say.
Yeah. I want to say loser, but no.
How many times women have chosen Kevin and his Mustang over me and my bike? Yeah. Actually,
no. Okay.
Never happened yet.
No. You know what? Listen, we're in a recession, or maybe we're not. I don't even know. But whatever the guy's situation,
I say end of days. We're in like end of days or something like that.
We're at the end of days.
We're getting at the end.
Look,
the end of the,
whatever
the
this
Bible.
guy's situation is, I want to know, why did you date him in the first place? And then I want to know.
That's the other thing.
And then
yeah.
and then
you
I
want
want
to know
Yeah.
what was so
Yeah.
great about this person.
Right.
Other than the fact that you're in the same,
Sometimes it's convenience. Like, listen, if you're both playing the same sport, you're around each other. Oh, you're there.
Yeah.
Let's-
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
But,
no, I get it. And a lot of people like use that as like a dating tool now,
Of
right?
course.
Like
Activities,
social.
that's what I like to do.
That's right.
That's why,
So, but like doing fucking ultimate frisbee and
Axe
like
throwing.
certain things, axe throwing, whatever. So it could be that, and then let's go out for a bang, but I don't know. I don't know what the background is there. It'd be interesting to know what the appeal was, if there was a previous history of knowing the person,
Yes.
which could affect,
Of course.
it could affect things.
I've met
So, yeah,
most
okay, I
of
get that.
my girlfriends at the annual poutine festival. Like a girl who
Makes
can
sense.
put down a poutine faster than me. That gets me going.
Makes sense. But yeah, I also want
See,
to
I
know.
like a girl that's gonna savor one because I'm a slow eater.
Not me.
I just no,
I eat like I don't have teeth. You know what I'm talking about?
like a duck.
That's horrible.
But
like
yeah,
a
another key factor is obviously why did it end, right? And also
That's also not in there.
because-
That's correct.
because like at the end of the day,
Like who ended it?
who ended it?
I have a
Right?
feeling
It sounds
was
like
her.
she did because
looks like,
she made a comment in there about
He's still lingering. And
he's thinking it can turn back into more than
fair
just
enough.
Fair
enough. That's
So
another thing.
how do you? What do you? Okay, so you were saying you want to know more about
Who, what, where, when, why? That's how I always answer these.
who was
questions.
involved.
Yeah.
Where does it matter?
Listen, Scarborough folk are different from Etobicoke folk, or different from people from Barrie.
What? When? Okay, when? Yeah, how?
when time spans. But you know what?
Juice.
Before we get into the actual details, for me the most important part, I think, because especially this is coming from a lady, is ultimately what her intentions are. Because here's the thing, you can walk and say, oh, I don't want him in my life anymore. But in the words of Tony Montana, the eyes don't lie, chica. Or Chico.
She's a junkie.
No. What I'm saying is, one of these days.
She don't eat.
What I'm saying is, one of these days.
Shut up, Tony.
maybe time has gone by. Listen. Jesus fucking Christ. What I'm saying is, one of these days, is you guys are gonna be at this activity. Maybe it's a physical activity. He's gonna be sweating. You're gonna be sweating. Pheromones.
The fuck are you talking?
Pheromones are gonna be up and high. Maybe you're gonna be, whatever.
Are you hearing this?
You're gonna get a whiff of each other's sports bra, right?
What I'm saying is,
He's like, you're gonna be
is you're
sweating.
gonna be in the same vicinity as someone you've swapped tongues with. So my question is what is your ultimate, like? Does this person? What do you think of this person now? Is this somebody where you're like, oh, I never want that guy's tongue in my mouth ever again? Or hold on.
We should call this the Off the Rails podcast.
This is how it always goes.
Think about it.
No, because here's the thing. Ultimately, here's the thing. I've known a lot of I've known girls in my time.
I've never heard.
I'm gonna say, guys, right now. Let's
What haven't you heard, Mary? What haven't you heard?
Have you ever heard that term?
What term?
Derp off the rails?
No. What did you say?
About what? Swapping tongues? That's what it's called when you make it out. You're swapping each other's tongues in each other's mouths.
I don't think you mean.
Listen, this is 2019. The rules of engagement have been broken. We can now say whatever we want, whenever we want.
But that's not the right saying.
It's not about what's right or wrong.
It's swapping spit or swapping saliva.
Well, taking it to
That's
the
what it
next
is,
level.
right?
They're
You
just down there chucking uglies. Like, what's a
Maybe.
You don't
Chucking
swap
ugly.
tongues. How do you swap a tongue?
When it gets nice and deep, trust me.
No, that's still.
Don't worry about it.
Just
It's
say maybe,
they're making out, okay?
People just say Frenching.
Fine, let me say,
Just say French.
fine, let me say
Tonguing?
Fine, let me say it in a more PC way. When these two are making love, okay?
Kissing
Okay.
would be making love?
Look, long story short,
making out.
What about tongue punching the fart box?
can we not solve my problems of grammar
Making
and
out.
logic, and can we just solve her problem? At the end of the day, I want to know what her intentions with this guy is.
Yeah.
Yes, you're saying that, I don't want him around and whatever.
So,
But the question
here's-
is, what steps are you taking for that to happen?
Okay, Kevin.
You know? Yes.
I just found it funny.
Okay.
But the direct question that was asked
Yes.
in the question
Yes.
is what that guy did. Would you consider that to be stalkish behavior, or somebody who thinks they got lied to? Right? Who's like, well,
I think it's just a guy that just got broke up, and like he's like the girl just told him, we're gonna be friends, and all of a sudden you get ghosted, and it's like, well, what kind of a friend is that? So the guy's just trying to listen. The guy also knows what's going on. He knows, depends. I don't know. He doesn't drive a car, so maybe he's. I'm not gonna go down that hole, but who knows? But
what hole?
I'm not where I start bashing guys who don't drive cars. Long story
I
short,
thought you were bashing the bull. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Bull basher.
What I'm saying is, listen.
Come again.
The guy knows what's going on. I think the guy. Look, here's
All
the
right,
thing.
Kevin, just say it, man. So you think he's a loser because he doesn't
don't know
have,
the
he
full
does not drive, and
No, not just because of that, but certain
the
things.
overall gist is going to be, why is she driving?
Listen,
this person
Here's-
who's a grown adult to a sporting event that he has equipment to. Like, how is?
who knows? Here's my thing, though. If I was this guy that just got dumped by this girl, listen, let me put myself into the shoe.
It
of
comes off kind of pathetic, you're saying?
fine. Let me put myself into a man who does
You
not.
have-
I know he's thinking that.
You have pathos for him?
I like to look at different points of view. So here's the thing: if I was in this guy's shoe, I just got dumped by this girl,
Shoes.
and God, fucking grammar and all the shit. Anyways, I'm in this guy's shoes, and I'm him. Okay, I just got dumped, and this girl's telling me like, oh yeah, we can still be friends. I can maybe drive you from time to time. All of a sudden, you ghost me. Now here's the thing: if I'm
Is it I'm him or I am he? No, I think
the
you were
correct
right. I
move.
think
The
you're right.
correct move is if I was this guy and I was a straight up alpha fucking boss, I'd be like, okay, you don't want me in your life anymore. Suck a dick. Fuck off. I ain't talking to you too. I might even, honestly, depending on like how cool this activity is, I might even dip this activity. Be like, yo, listen, I'm not getting myself around that situation.
All right.
I'm done. I'm
Let's,
getting myself.
I'm going to say right now, let's give some concise final thoughts.
Final thoughts. So here's the thing.
We'll end with Kevin.
Fine.
Sorry.
No. Let's go.
I'll go first because I feel like I have the least amount to say here.
Fine.
Because you guys seem
Let's
to
go.
have more to say.
Fine.
I think maybe in this circumstance, this man is trying to make a play to get back in the game.
Yeah.
The woman, I mean, she's clearly not interested. She's sort of taking pity and wants to kind of be a friend.
Right.
And because there's obviously being a friend is the base level of what maybe made you attracted or like the law of attraction to be around that person in the first place, right?
Refer to other guys' podcast number, whatever. Can guys and girls be friends? Can you be friends with an ex? We've covered it all.
So, I mean, this guy, like, way men think, this guy might think this is like she's giving me an opportunity back in. Like, her being nice isn't like, even though she's not trying to propose that, like, this guy maybe is thinking that. So, him contacting your sister is maybe he's trying to dig for info of, like, if you're dating anybody, maybe asking the questions he doesn't want to ask because he feels like.
So, you think that there's like an underlying, like, he's going at the call as it has nothing to do with why am I not getting a ride to this activity tonight?
Oh, it's more than that.
It's more like,
could be like
what is she up to?
Yeah, maybe like it's like a feeling of this what's going on with her. Who knows? Because she did say that he's known her sister longer than her, right? So like he's got more history. Maybe he feels like this is the better person to go to ask the questions. So great. So that's what I'll say. Kevin, your final thoughts?
Murray.
Oh, sorry. Murray's final thoughts?
I didn't have a thought. It's mess.
Well, what do you think she should do?
None of it. I don't know. Like, it sounds like a complete disaster. So you like, it sounds like she's involved with this guy. Who knows why? Right? Who knows why?
Do you think she's being stalked though?
No, I don't think he is, or I don't think she
It's
is.
an ex
I
who
think it's
you
just
just broke
somebody
up
who's
with.
like whatever, and I
No.
think that it's a dysfunctional. I think it's dysfunctional right now. I think that the way it's being set up, like, so they break up, or they're not going to do whatever was more than just a friendship anymore. Yet you're going to drive them places, or you were, and then now you're like, no, I don't want to do that anymore because he might try to get back in. No, it's all of that was wrong. So like, you can't go back to what was. Like, it doesn't work like that. So like that whole thing. So like he's out. Like he's got to be 100% out.
Right.
And unfortunately, yeah, you can expect some positive. If you're the one who ended it, you can expect some unusual behavior from the other person because they're going to go through something for a short period of time or for a long period of time, depending on how it affects them, right? So he might get a little crazy. He might contact a sister or a friend or engage, like, you know what I mean? Who knows? And yeah, but the problem is that it sounds like she doesn't want to stop doing this activity, and it sounds like he's not going to stop doing this activity, which means it's this unusual world you're going to live in where everybody should be uncomfortable. Everybody, if anybody else knows what went on, you're potentially eliminating other people that you're going to date or could date or might be interested in you or him or whoever because of this weird thing that you got going on. I'd be out. Like, I'd be like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And even if it's something I really like, I'd be like, fuck, I shouldn't have shit where where you eat, right? Like, if you really like something, don't ruin it by dating somebody there.
Right.
Or
I don't know, but this is the thing.
So
Kevin's final thoughts coming
unless
up.
she likes it, unless she likes the drama. I don't know.
Maybe.
Do you like the drama?
But here's my thing.
Kevin, remember?
Yes.
2 minute. No, sorry, I'm not.
No,
Your rebuttal, sir? No, I'm just yeah.
All
Go
right,
for
let
it.
me close this problem up and let's wrap this thing off like a condom.
Like a bow.
Wrap this thing off.
Let's wrap this thing. Jesus Christ. Okay, here's what. So the 3 questions I want to know now to get a full evaluation of this question comes down to this. I want to know why you dated him, what changed and caused the breakup. Obviously, the details of the breakup, who broke up with who, and blah, 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 blah. You know, terms and blah, 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 blah. But I want to know why you broke up. And then lastly, I want to know is what are your intentions? Like, if you say you want to be his friend, if you really believe that you can be his friend and drive him around and, you know, play games together and you know, maybe hang out as just friends, and if you really believe that, bull, if you believe that, then you got to be ready for that type of, you know, him contacting you, whatever. But I think ultimately it comes down to what your intentions.
Contact. She's putting herself in there to contact. They're going to the same spot. And she's driving them.
So here's my thing: is ultimately when it comes to these things, you got to do the full detach. You got to go the full, like, you got to state the terms. Like, it's kind of a dick move sometimes to just lead somebody on and be like, oh yeah, we can still be friends, we can still hang out, and then just drop off the face of the earth. It's kind of a dick move if you want to go down that route.
No, it's not. You go, you know what? Obviously, we both know it's not going to work like this.
But then you have to state
Because,
that. You have
okay,
to state
first
that.
of all,
she's
it's
kind of
rare
leading
that
him
a
on.
relationship okay.
I'm not even going to bring the whole card thing into this. I'm not bringing the card thing into this. My thing is...
You know what my thing is?
What?
And if the person lives in the core of Toronto, I can maybe give it a pass. Because of transit and everything. But I'm just going to say, if they're, right? Come on. If they're outside of the core...
They're in Sarnia, Ontario.
And they don't have their license or a reliable way of getting there, either with a buddy...
Right.
Or with their own vehicle, and it's a symptom of a bigger problem.
Maybe he's disabled. Maybe he doesn't have a right foot. Anyways.
So what's the sport they're playing? Fucking sitting around doing nothing?
Who knows? I'm not.
Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't have a right foot. I don't know. This is again questions I need to know. But here's the thing.
Maybe he doesn't have a right lobe.
Maybe. Here's the thing.
Could
I don't
have
want
shin spurs or something like that, or like foot spurs.
Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know. Sorry.
Here's the thing. I can't put myself into the shoes of a man who does not drive. But that being said,
I thought you were gonna say you can't put yourself in the shoes of a man.
Okay, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, to solve, because I want to solve her problem. The problem is this: as much as you like this activity, you do have to create a distance with this person. Luckily, this person can't come to your house in a car, so there's that bonus. But here's the thing: when it comes to a breakup, there needs to be that detach. You guys need to not talk to each other for a long while. You need to go and fuck other people, swap the uglies, whatever you call it, and whatever you call it. But
It's bumping uglies.
Whatever the kids are calling it these days.
No, not these days.
Okay. Long story short is you need
swap the uglies.
Listen.
Isn't there like a character from some comedy show who's always getting sayings wrong?
Maybe. But
swap the uglies?
You need to create that
Hey, it's
distance.
like we're trading uglies. You give me some of your ugly people, I take some of your ugly
There
people,
you
I
go.
swap the uglies.
Swap
You
the
need,
uglies.
Jesus Christ. You need to create that distance. You need to create that space so that indifference can. Because right now, this guy probably still wants to get in there. He wants, listen, once he's tasted the nectar, he's going to want the whole flower.
One person is resisting a relationship now. So the other person wasn't the one who had an issue with it, per se. So you can't then say, but I'll keep, I'll drive you.
You gotta rip the
that
Band-Aid
other
off.
person is sitting there going, well, you know what? If I'm cool and we're cool, we got together like this. This is exactly probably how it started.
Right.
Was giving him a ride. Who knows?
Right.
You can't continue the same shit.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. I think you need to cut the behavior out. You need to distance. You need to be like, listen, at this point, because you've already said we're going to be friends and I'm going to still drive you, you need to now go back to that person and be like, listen, I thought I could do that, but the truth is I'm just afraid of it becoming something else or whatever. So if, I need to make the decision. We just can't have any contact at all.
And you give them a good handshake and walk away.
Don't contact my sister. Don't whatever.
So you think she needs to?
It's finito. You need to drop the Thor's hammer. You need to come down, smash it, and just what the guy's probably going to take it harder again because I think maybe he had a little bit of inclining of hope, and now you're about to smash that hope into complete thing. And especially if he doesn't have a car,
Let him hitchhike home
or a right foot, it's going to be tough on him. But
the hitchhiking definitely would be tough if he doesn't have the right foot.
It's what he needs because at the end of the day, who knows? This could work for him because you know what?
Unless
he's going to be
Blade
like
Runner.
Where's this guy work at? IHOP?
I don't know, but you know what? If you smash this guy, who knows?
Well, he's not fucking a delivery driver.
Maybe in a year or so, he'll have the balls and he'll get a car, and one day he'll be a better man. But for now, you need to crush it. You need to squash it, or risk it becoming rekindled and becoming a whole different mess. So that's my advice.
What's that from?
What
is that, Jerry Maguire? Where you make me want to be a better man.
A better man, yeah.
Do you think this guy, he said it to, what's her face? Who's
Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger. Yeah. Do you think if this was his world, he's going to be in a parking lot of a dealership staring at a car, and he's going to say that to the car? You make me want to be a better man?
Maybe.
I think he's...
Well, that, because you said it'll make him be a better man.
This is my opinion. I don't know this guy at all. I don't have enough information to fill this in, but my brain is telling me he's like a say anything kind of guy. Gets the boombox out in the rain, John Cusack style. That's what I think this guy is.
So you're okay. Anyways,
High Fidelity?
No, I mean I think it's the one from
Say Anything,
earlier.
yeah.
It's Say Anything, where he's like
Say Anything.
yeah.
Anyways,
I prefer High Fidelity.
High Fidelity is really
Fidelity's good,
He's
yeah.
also in the rain a bunch in that movie as well.
John Cusack is good at breakup stuff.
It's like every time it was there's a good supercut of John Cusack in the rain yelling at women.
Yeah. So, anyways, final thoughts with this guy.
right, so-
you need to end it, Caputo, and you need to separate yourself from the
Do
situation.
you think she made a mistake?
Dating the guy? No, I mean, who knows, man? Who knows?
I think women tend to want to be friends, so maybe she just had that
Listen,
oversight.
you're both doing activities. Maybe you're sweating. Pheromones are out there.
Again with the sweat.
Who knows? Whatever.
Like, why is it that women want to be friends? They could just say no, right? You know, like why? Does anyone ever explain that? Why they do that? 'Cause it's like
to let you down easier.
Is it like let you down easier because of the whole prehistoric bash you on the head thing or something? Or
I've had it all. If it's a pre-existing friend, then they're like, I just want to go back to being friends.
Oh, you want to go back to the
if it's not, like, I just don't. No, I've also had. Well, but I don't see that happening. We've also, but we could be friends.
We've talked about be friends. We've talked about mutual.
I'm not gonna be friends with you. That's not why I started talking to you.
Yeah, but also we've talked about mutual friends and settings and stuff. So sometimes it might be unavoidable unless you're willing to part off everything, right?
Listen, this goes back to the pods of guys and girls being friends, but that's a different subject. I think at the end of the day, with her problem, end it, shoot it in the leg. Or your foot, whatever. But you need to end it.
Shoot it in the leg?
I'm done with explaining myself. Anyways, that's the other guy's podcast.
Did you answer?
Yeah.
So your final verdict?
Final verdict is drop the hammer, end it, separate yourself from the situation, or risk seeing that person at the activity and having it blossom back into something else crazy.
But not stalking.
No, he's not stalking. Listen, the definition of stalking is him showing up at your front door or window and start jerking off in front of you.
With a boombox.
With a boombox. That's the thing. Dude.
Is it stalking Kirk or no?
Calling? No.
It ain't stalking until you see them through the window.
There you go. It's not stalking.
In the middle of the night. If you're efficient, they won't see you.
No, listen. Right, them trying to contact you.
When you see a pair of eyes staring back at you through the cold, dark night, and you're like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And then it's,
them trying to contact you is a ploy. It's a tactical decision they're trying to do, trying to see what kind of games. Whether you play along, it's your choice. But all I'm saying is, if your intentions are you don't want to deal with this person anymore, you need to create distance. Drop the hammer.
Or you're not being clear enough.
Yes, and we'll if you can send those questions in again, why you dated,
there were some
why
questions.
you broke up, and what are your ultimate
extra
intentions.
Questions.
Yeah. So anyways, I think
this
that's
could be an ongoing. This maybe has gone beyond a helpline. Maybe we are relationship advisors now.
Maybe we are.
So I thought of a new thing we could do for the helpline. This is another idea I've had outside of this helpline is that we could answer questions based on fictional characters. Like, hi, my name is Jack Dawson, and I'm gonna go on a trip on the Titanic. And they're like, don't do it.
Pros
before hoes
and cons of the Titanic journey.
Or just we write a question based off a famous character or someone in a thing, then we have to guide them into how we would fix it, but maybe we would change the outcome.
Right. Okay.
My name is Peter Venkman. I'm thinking about opening a ghost busting business. What do you think?
Okay. Well, what do you think? And that might be a conversation for later.
Yes. Send to the other readers, listeners, whatever. Just send us those questions. And to this listener, if you do have those other details, let us know.
It sounds like we need those other details.
Yes, we will answer them on the helpline, which we will be doing.
The other details.
And again, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And also, if you have opinions on problems that you think, maybe you're qualified to answer.
If you think we have a problem.
Yeah. Oh, and if you think that, I know how to speak well. Yeah. Comment on that. Yeah. So, let me know about that shit. Come at me, bro. Anyways, that's the
I already know
podcast.
I got problems.
Right. Anyways, that's it, man.